Well, I got one for you. This is kind of hard to make, but we're going to make it anyway. I had a guy message me a few months ago and he says, "Hey, I had that 21B10 cam phaser rattle reprogram done on my truck, but it's still acting up. What's going on with the coverage you were talking about in your video, that proration coverage?" And I said, well, what they did was they extended the warranty on your cam phasers to 69,999 miles now, where your powertrain used to end at 60. Well, for that one particular cam phaser rattle deal, it goes out to 69,999, and every 10,000 miles past that it drops. So once you hit 70,000 miles, it drops down to 66% coverage, and then once you hit 80,000 miles, it drops down to 33% coverage, and then once you hit 90, there's no more coverage. It's all out of customer pocket. So there's a proration period. So he says, right now, when I had the cam phaser rattle done, the reprogram done, it had 83,000 miles on it. Okay, so that is your original concern rattle date time set. So when that RO went in at 83,000 miles, that's when your problem initially was recognized and booked in the shop at 83,000 miles. And he said they wanted to do a couple things past then. They wanted to take the programming back out, and then they wanted to look at this or do that. And by the time they actually got around to replacing the cam phasers, the vehicle was at 90,000 miles outside of any proration period. I said, okay, well, you should still get 33% help on that pay job, because when the vehicle originally went into the shop for the concern, it was at 83,000 miles. And how those warranties and those prorations work is it's at the original date and mileage of the concern when it was first brought in. It's not, 10,000 miles later. And he says, well, when I went to the shop to have it done, they told me it was going to all be customer pay and there was going to be no warranty help. I said, well, hell, that ain't right. That's not how it works. And he said, yeah, I called corporate up and I told corporate what was going on, and they said, you are right, that it should have been from the original date that the concern was identified with the rattle on startup. So they looked into my case and they said I should be getting 33% reimbursed from the dealership because they took all the customer pay money, and Ford says they're not going to be involved now because the dealership took it upon themselves to charge the customer everything. So now the vehicle's fixed with new cam phasers and stuff, but they say we're out of it. That's between you and the dealer now. Now, if the dealer would have came to us after they booked the job and said, look, this guy had 83,000 miles when it first came in, and he's paying, customer pay, we're going to submit for 33% coverage because that's what you guys allow on that cam phaser rattle deal, then it would have saved the customer a ton of money. But instead, the dealership said, screw you. It was customer pay. You didn't approve the work until 90,000 miles. And now Ford says that's a matter between you and the dealership. We don't have anything to do with what they choose to do on their own. Now, if you need help from us, we can help you, and we can get certain things approved and, that haven't been paid for already because it's been run through the proper paper channels. But what the dealer does to charge you for services that you were provided by them, we don't get involved in that. That's between you and the dealership. It sucks that people work hard to make a living, and they go through everything that they go through to be taken advantage of like that. Or it sucks that a company would put people in place in their management team and in their service writer team that don't even know or don't care how the customer should be treated and what their options are, to then be turned around after corporate says, no, they're wrong, you're right, you should get 33% of that money back because it could have came through us and we would have helped you. They just don't care. What would you guys do in a situation like this? How would you fight this if it was you and you know that you're in the right and that you should have been covered? You should have been helped by the dealership and they took all your money. Yeah, the problem's fixed, but there was already a service there that said you could have been 33% taken care of by the manufacturer had the dealership known how to draw up the paperwork properly or cared enough to look into the situation instead of just telling you, no, that's not how it works. That is how it works. Literally, that is how it works. So the dealership is 100% wrong here. How do you guys handle that? When corporate says we're not involved in this because it's you paying the dealership, that's a transaction between you guys. How do you fight that? Do you talk about it in a review? Do you get a lawyer, which is going to end up costing more than what that 33% help was? Do you keep pestering the dealership? Or do you just chalk it up as a loss and go somewhere else and don't ever take your business back there again? It sucks, man. It sucks that people have to go through this every day with some dealerships. So I sympathize. I just wanted to share this story with you because it was brought to my attention last night to figure out, try to ask a question on how do you take care of something like that? Maybe you're a service writer and you work for a dealership and you can shed some light on the situation and help us figure out what the customer can do. I mean, at this point, it seems like they're at a loss. They're going to have to fight it out with the dealer. I feel bad for the gentleman. I really do. Because I think about it as if it was me having to deal with it, and it sucks. I would be pissed. Anyway, y'all have a great day. Thank you. I just wanted to share that with you real quick.